I don't know if you can tell, but I've lost my motivation to shower, and I find comfort in eating. That's why I'm so fat. This is what happens and what depression does to people.
I'm 13 and this is deep. Good old Nova is back online and he is posting the same old shtick. And if you watch my previous video, he turned 21, he went out to an all-you-can-eat buffet, he got some drinky poos, he's living a life that we all wish we could be living. And currently, and I even alluded to it and I talked about it a little bit in the previous video, there's a group of people around his hometown that are showing up to his house, climbing into his yard, filming videos going on over there, and he's having a rough go at it, right? As we can tell. I mean, I don't know if you guys were able to identify his extremely greasy hair. I know it's hard to notice. It's hard to come across, but Nova, he's just too upset. People are too mean to him online. They're making up lies about his life. How can he just possibly go on? Well, don't worry, because he's got another food review wearing the exact same outfit to satiate his sadness.
Wendy's came out with the brand new Takis Fuego meal. Today, we're going to be trying out all the Fuego items. These things are not coated evenly, so I'm just going to shake them up a little bit. They did not put enough Fuego seasoning on these. Apparently, I didn't know this, but you're supposed to shake the bag before eating them. These are really spicy and really, really good. I don't think I'll be getting this again, but I'd gladly get the fries.
So he's fat and he's depressed, but don't worry, guys. He's gonna review the newest Fuego meal from Wendy's. And it's kind of funny because I felt like I saw a bunch of news articles that were talking about how there were just careless Wendy's employees that were just like shoveling spoonfuls, giant bucketfuls of the powder or whatever goes on to it on the meals, and people were having bowel issues related to it. But don't worry, Nova has figured out you gotta shake it in order to evenly coat everything. That way you can have a delicious meal. And, you know, it's unsurprising that consistently doing videos like this are not going to lead to a more fulfilling and happy lifestyle. Now, Nova won't figure that out. I mean, he's too busy creating discords all the time, trying to talk to little kids, and whenever he gets called out for it, and whenever people start to slam doink on him, he's sitting there and he's like, ooh, I'm just a little baby boy. You wouldn't yell at a little baby boy. You wouldn't punch a little baby boy in the face, would you? Oh man, and he's over here and he just continues to sad post. And if you remember, he was talking about wanting to start up like an eBay page or like an Etsy shop or something where he sells his handcrafted goods for the audience. Well, surprise, surprise, that also hasn't taken off.
Alright, update on NovaCord. So many of you have noticed that I have not posted anything in a while. That's because I'm still working out on the logistics of everything. Like what to order, where to order, when, like what to order, how to order, when to order. Yeah, NovaCord weekly drop should happen soon. Four bracelets, 3 keychains.
And it's always baffling to me to sit back and think that Nova is only 21 years old. For some reason in my head, I just picture him as being like a 30-year-old man. But at the same time, it's like he has the thought process of like me when I was like 10 and I first discovered the internet. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna sell my Sharpied Lego clone troopers online. Yet I don't understand any of the infrastructure to do it. I don't know how I would get any inventory. I don't know how I would price it. I don't know what my labor costs would be. I don't know any of that shit. And it's the same thing with Nova. He can't even like decipher of how much twine or whatever he needs to get in order to make his bracelets. He doesn't know how many he's going to end up making. He doesn't know what the demand is for it. And there is some amount of demand because he at least claims in the past that there were people dancing with joy, couldn't wait to get a second order of of Nova's bracelets. But at the same time, it's like, dude, this is dead on arrival. You don't have a high demand, and you don't even know how to properly function a business in order to sell any of these items. So, unsurprisingly, the supposed $900 that he has to pay his mom for rent isn't going to get paid this way, but don't worry. He's gonna follow this up and talk about all of the new ailments that he allegedly has been diagnosed with.
Normally, I'm like this cheery person in front of the camera, but that isn't the case today. I just want to have a heart-to-heart with the real fans. Many of you don't know this, but I was diagnosed with depression in April of 24. I've been on medication for it ever since. I was also diagnosed with anxiety about a couple months ago. I'm also on medication for that. I just wanted to open up about my mental health issues to my fan base because, as I said, I've got barely any real friends. I'm not going to even sign off because this is bloody serious.
I mean, it just feels like a Chris Chan skit. This does not deserve a proper introduction because this is serious. And, you know, it's, wow, guys, could you believe that a terminally online child enthusiast gooner is depressed and is full of anxiety all the time? Yeah, maybe it's because your felonious acts that you do on a weekly basis and get brought to light when, you know, somebody's trolling you or they're impersonating somebody and they get some messages or videos or whatever from you and then post them online. Would it shock you that that would create you to feel like people are always breathing down your neck? That people are always on the hunt for you? Yeah, maybe if you, I don't know, completely tried to transform your life and own up to your mistakes and own up to the absolutely heinous behavior that you have, maybe it would help reduce some of the anxiety you have built up in your life. Hell, maybe if you stopped eating Wendy's Fuego meals every week, you would stop feeling all that anxiety. Because trust me, and this is who cares? Nova's not going to watch this video. He's not going to take any advice from somebody like me anyway. But if you are in a similar situation, not saying that you're like Nova, but saying that maybe you're overweight, maybe you're depressed, maybe you have some anxiety, the first thing you should look into is your diet. If your diet is absolutely dog shit, if you're eating overly processed foods consistently, it can lead you into feeling just like you're not getting enough vitamins. Your body is a machine that needs to operate on proper nutrition. And if you're not giving it that, anxiety can be a ramification from it. I used to have it in the past, but once you start, eat some broccoli, dog. You know, it costs $1 in the frozen section at the grocery store. Put it in the microwave, eat some broccoli, and you'll be feeling better in no time. Also, if you just decide to go outside and exercise, you don't have to do anything all that strenuous. If you just go and walk for 15 to 30 minutes every day, you'll start to feel better. Sunlight will help you feel good. Physically moving will help you feel good. Eating right will help you feel good. But nah, Nova, he just wants a sympathy post online. He wants all the fans, all the 15-year-olds to come flooding into his chat and saying, ooh, me too. You passing 8th grade is so hard. Oh, it's so relatable. But what isn't relatable for Nova is the fact that the French onion soup meme has come back in full force, and he's been alluding to it for the past month or so, that he's really frustrated that this is kind of what his legacy is at this point.
I hate that the French onion soup meme is coming back. Can I get a French onion soup, please? This is like the third time it's been revived. I'm just sick and tired of every time I go live trying to make things that I think would entertain my audience, and someone goes and tries to ruin the fun by fucking doxing my family.
So it's always somebody else's fault. I mean, it's a consistent lolcow trait with everybody that we ever talk about, is I can do no wrong. everybody else online is mean and wicked and evil. How dare you try and report the terrible acts that I do online to my mom or my uncle? That is ridiculous. I'm gonna have an absolute freak out. Can't you see? I'm just over here trying to make bracelets. That's all I want to do. And maybe start up a Discord where I say it's 18 plus, but I knowingly allow underage people to interact in there. But it's 18 plus. You know, that's my safeguard. It's like it's like TSA security. 98% of stuff's gonna get through, but that 2%, he's gonna make sure he's cracking down. That 2% are those two numbers, 1 and 8 and plus. So the man is just having a difficult time. French onion soup, it's literally the first clip I ever saw when I had been introduced to the Nova sphere, and it's sort of been weaponized. And as I've talked about, there is a group of people that are coming to Nova's property to come and mess with him, and I guess the French onion soup was kind of the spur for this particular person's inspiration.
Nova Online's house right now, and we're about to give him some French onion soup.
You know,
Dog water or handwriting?
Well, and that it lets you make a nice poopy in your diaper. I would also recommend you stop talking to kids.
Nah, this is way worse than what I did. Literally showed his address.
Can I get a French onion soup, please?
I don't know what the two singles that were on top of the can were for. I don't get it. And also, people talk about there's a dispute online. I saw people defending when people were showing up to Nova at the parade that he was at a couple weeks ago, and they were taking pictures with him, and people were saying, they're just trying to goof on him. They're just trying to make him seem like he's such a big deal. That's exactly what he wants. And the people showing up to his house, I never understand it. It seems like you're unnecessarily inputting yourself into a sphere of the internet that hasn't been the most caring and adoring for people throughout time. And at the same time, Nova vague posted about this particular incident basically the next day, once he found a nice little note of Diaper Boy and French onion soup, basically saying that he's sick and tired of everybody claiming that he's something that he's not. Even though it's I never understand it. I mean, people can make accusations about anybody at any time, but when you have concrete evidence of years going back of your behavior and it doesn't change and it's consistent throughout time, yeah, I think people are going to start leaning one way over the other. But that's not going to stop Nova, right? Because he's a man on the mission, and that mission is to get as much attention as possible and pull out the tried and true classic.
Oh, fuck, am I alive?
I never even understand what the purpose of this is. Oh man, let me get a big influx of people to show up to a stream where I pretend like I'm not actually streaming, and then, oh man, I'm live. In case you're unaware, it takes several clicks of a button in order to go live or post a video or do anything like that. So the ability to do it happenstance, just on the fly, it's not very common. And obviously, Nova's a terrible actor, and it only gets worse for him throughout the day because somebody else shows up to his yard.
Read the sign! No trespassing! You too, bitch! First time that's happened. Yeah, I'm fine. You can see me shaking. Shit. I'm stopping the stream. I'm not gonna have that happen.
So the important context that was left out a little bit there, whoever this guy that showed up to Nova's house, he was apparently in his yard when Nova came outside. Well, he called him a little furdy-dirty. He threw out the N-bomb at Nova, and Nova starts to have an existential crisis. And you have to love the little cowboy filter that shows up halfway through when his brain is trying to chug along. The gears are starting to turn a little bit, and he's trying to figure out, what the hell is going on? Why would somebody say that to me? Well, I think based on previous context that Nova is gonna blame this on the detractors. I know, what a shocking turn of events, and he's gonna say some interesting things to Kiwi and Smokey.
Anyone mentioning Smokey and Kiwi will be sent to Pound Town. Well, sending them to Pound Town. Sending them to Pound Town. Sending you to Pound Town.
He's gonna send everybody to Pound Town. That's right, baby. And like, he tries to clarify himself a little bit later in the clip where he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is like being sent to the Shadow Realm for me. This is Ban World for me. And it's like, listen, buddy. In no other context ever has Pound Town meant anything else than slam doinking that booty hole, alright? And you know, you Smokey and Kiwi, cute little boys for for Nova to go after. I understand, you know. Fuck, dude. Can't be saying stuff like that. That's just ridiculous. You can't be saying stuff like that. But I think deep down, it does exemplify he has this affinity for those two. Even though they're slam doinking on him nonstop, he definitely, you know, it might be turning him on a little bit. It might be right in his wheelhouse if you're catching my drift, you know, if he's going to be taking you to Pound Town. Either way, I want to close out this video because once again, he's been going on this Pokemon card tirade, and I just want to review some of the gifts that have been sent to him, some of the purchases that he's made, and give a little context from a soy-filled spurg like myself.
I just got a package from Big Boy Break Singles. Let's go ahead and open it up. Looks like you got an Electro GX, a Machamp Break, a Team Skull Grunt Hollow, a Charizard EX, and a Gold Nest Ball Trainer. I might go ahead and get this Charizard EX graded, depending on how much all these are worth.
And it's always so cute to watch somebody come into this hobby and have completely zero understanding of what they're actually looking at. He has no interest in doing any actual research about anything. Now, I don't know if this break group sent this to him out of kindness. He claims it's to do sponsorship and, you know, get promotion for their stuff or whatever. Based on what we're about to see, I don't know why anybody would buy this. First off, the pack of cards that he basically unveiled, maybe 20 bucks, 25 bucks, somewhere in that range. The Nest Ball is probably the most expensive thing there. The Charizard EX is worth like nothing. It's like a $5 to $10 card. Everything else that he showed off was nothing. It might be a full art, but it's not really worth anything. So it's not a great look. Also, I don't know why you would waste your time getting a card like that graded, if I'm being completely honest. I've got my own opinions about grading necessarily, but in particular with that, unless you have like sentimental value to it, or you want to like complete a set where everything's graded so it's sealed and safe and whatever, getting a $10 repackaged card from a break company, you're gonna get like a 7 on that, and you've completely wasted your money. But Nova doesn't understand or care, so oh well.
And 5 packs of XY Evolutions, which is a very rare set to come across these days. These kits include 5 times Pokemon Mystery Replica packs, 5 cards to add to your collection, and 1 single card, which is your chase card for the month.
So Nova completely missed it. Even in the note, it calls them replica packs. Those evolution packs are, I think it's a resealed product from this company. I don't think it's like Chinese knockoff cards necessarily. It's hard to tell, but we'll see when he actually opens the cards here in a second. Secondly, Evolutions is not a rare pack. It's an expensive pack because there's high demand for it, but it literally was printed into the dirt like, oh god, I'm old as shit. Basically 10 years ago. It was printed in the dirt when there wasn't a big surge of interest in cards. So there's a high abundance of it, but there's also high demand. That's why the packs are expensive. It's not hard to find. You can find it quite easily. But Nova decides he's going to go outside underneath the chair, and he's going to open up these packs for us to sit back and enjoy and see some of the great cards and reactions that he gets out of this.
So, Potion, Professor Oak's Hint, Pokedex, and Leafeon GX! Now that's a good start! Palkia GX Rainbow! Holy shit! So the Leafeon is worth about 20 bucks raw, and the Palkia GX Rainbow is worth about 25 raw.
So it's pretty hard for me to tell based on this video. If you don't know anything about Pokemon cards, you're probably sitting there like, wow, this is a soy-filled conversation. What's going on over here? Essentially, these like rare cards, the GX, the rainbow rares, the golds, all that stuff, they have a particular pattern that's imprinted or embossed on top of the card, and that's how you can easily distinguish a real from a fake card, because fake cards that are made in China or wherever else, they're not going to have the technology or the manpower in order to emboss cards, so they'll just be shiny, but they won't have the exact same holo pattern type of thing. In my opinion, it looks like these cards are fake. That would be my initial assumption. The Leafeon's a little bit harder to tell. For the Palkia, I don't see any texture on the card at all, which makes me think it's fake right off the bat. Which, they did call them replica packs, so and they had 5 authentic cards or whatever in that note, but that's my initial 2 cents. Nova's going to continue to waste his money on just frivolous things, just throw it right down the drain, but he'll come back and he'll cry and complain that his life is so sad and he needs more money and help him out, please. And I don't know, guys. Either way, I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
This is most likely going on sub only. But if it ends up in my normal videos, that means I did good. Africa, Totten America, Himalaya, Totten